Is Nick Berman.
Daddy, tell him your name.
Pardon me?
Tell him your name.
Nicholas Berman.
And you were born when?
When were you born? When were you born?
Oh, that was
When?
for 1909.
Okay. In
June 14th.
In what country? Where?
In Czechoslovakia.
Okay. You have to keep going. But about your family, can you tell a little about your family? This is before the war, right? Margaret, you can interject anytime you want.
My father is the second youngest of 8 children. And an interesting part of the Jewish tradition is that when my grandfather, his first wife, had 2 children and she died at childbirth, the next sister was too young to be married, and they married, they're Orthodox Jews, they married a sister, so he had to wait how many years? 6 years for my grandfather to be able to marry my mother, who was actually my aunt. And she proceeded to have 6 more children. And my father was the second to the youngest.
Okay. Was the family religious?
The family, they were observant Orthodox Jews.
How about languages?
5.
Hungarian,
Czech, German, Russian, and English. English was the last, and he didn't have an opportunity when he came to America to actually go to school to learn English, but because he had Latin for 12 years, he was able to get through medical school and dental school again, because the AMA wasn't very enthusiastic about bringing in a whole slew of doctors. So he went back to dental school and in Kansas City and did his medical residency in Seattle.
Oh, okay. What about his siblings? Is there anything you could tell about
Everybody
his
was killed in Auschwitz.
Where was he sent that he
Auschwitz.
avoided it?
Where?
Yeah, I mean where was he when the other children, family members were taken to Auschwitz?
He was with them, all 12.
How did he survive? How did he?
He could speak German, and he was a commodity. The Germans could talk to him and tell him, what to do to the other soldiers.
Oh, and because of his medical background.
Because of his medical background, that helped.
That helped him survive.
Yes.
Maybe he would not have if he didn't have his medical background.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
That's
right.
It's such a fluke that, at one point there were 2,000 people on the ground and they were going to shoot all of them. And on the microphone it said, Herr Nicholas Berman, come to the office. And he went to the office and they machine gunned everybody. It's just a matter
part of it's luck. Yeah.
of luck.
Wow. Let's see.
He had a chance to go through. He was before Auschwitz. He had an opportunity to go through Russia to America, but at that juncture, he was a doctor to a governor of a province. At that juncture, nobody believed that it was possible. Even though Mein Kampf was out and the Russians were, taking on nations, that it was actually possible. And he chose to stay and be with the family.
Yeah, I read that. That was in the article. That's an incredible decision.
Yes.
My father was born in Bialystok, and he went back twice to try to get his family out. And that was the same thing that they told him. They don't think anything real bad is going to happen.
It's unprecedented. And it's also, I think, important aspect is that it's before mass communication. It's before it could be on the 7 o'clock news. It's before CNN, before satellites.
Yeah, that's right.
And visuals are so important unless you see these people being, being brought in together and rounded up and put in ghettos and wearing stars. How could they know?
Yeah. How about anti-Semitism? When did he feel that bad things were going to happen?
When they didn't allow him to practice. The Jews weren't allowed to own property. They took away all their professions as lawyers, as accountants, as businessmen, as merchants. It was all taken away. That's when they were herded into the ghettos.
How about the parents and grandparents?
The parents were killed. One committed suicide.
Was there a large family?
12
And,
on his side.
oh,
So is it there 8? 8 brothers and sisters, mother, father. Did you have grandparents? Did you have grandparents who were alive?
But
Did you have grandparents who were alive during the war?
they died before.
They died before.
okay, before.
Okay. They were much older.
Okay.
And then my mother had 2 brothers. And one left when he was 18 years old and went to be a freedom fighter in Palestine.
Oh, wow.
So he avoided the war.
Oh,
And the other one was killed.
oh, wow. So during the war, what were some of his experiences during the war?
In like his responsibilities.
Yeah. So the work that he might have been assigned to, or
You have a picture of dead bodies, and he 200 piles of dead bodies, and he'd pull the gold out of their teeth. He'd move the bodies. He'd feed the German shepherds. What were some of your jobs, Daddy? He worked with the typhoid patients.
oh, that was.
You have to remember that at that time, the life expectancy of a camp member was only 6 weeks. They were expendable. They were workers. They worked in fields. The women got a pound of saltpeter, so did the men, so they wouldn't have,
Yeah.
periods or sex.
Yeah.
Did you do physical labor?
But
Did you do physical labor? Physical labor. Did you dig ditches? What did you do in the camps?
who in the camp,
Yes.
Maybe we could go on and just talk about
All right.
maybe the liberation. Who liberated the camp?
My
So
father.
he was in Auschwitz at the at liberation time.
No, they kept moving him.
Yeah.
He was.
He was in what, a number of camps?
Yes, but he was liberated by Theresienstadt in Theresienstadt in Czechoslovakia by the Americans.
In 45, I guess.
And my mother was liberated by the Americans. I'm trying to get some of my history here, but I will.
So tell me a little bit about after liberation, your mother and father were together.
My father contracted typhoid fever 5 days before liberation and went. He was taken to a refugee camp outside of Prague. And my mother went home. He had a nurse who dug like gold or money or diamonds or jewels, right, in the ground.
Do I hear? Did I hear knocking? I just wonder if you could let the guy in.
And
The front
she went, got the money. Her house was taken over. Their house was taken over. It's one sip. It's good for you. And then she went looking for my father. And she found him after 6 weeks of traveling. And then they had nothing to do. It was everything was gone. Everybody was gone. And Daddy said, we need to go to America. One of his best friends who had escaped before the war, Tibor Borgida, was the head of Radio Free Europe. Mm-hmm. And he was willing to put up $800 each to sponsor my parents to come.
Wow.
To America. And they came on a Liberty ship, empty Liberty ship.
Ask him how did he get? How did he get?
What's he saying?
I don't know. The skeleton?
Yes.
I'll ask him later. First, let's talk about you. First, let's talk about you. So, came
Got a good smile.
Came to America. My mother immediately went, to work.
Where did he land in America?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Okay.
Baltimore.
Okay.
Not Ellis Island.
Okay. You keep talking.
And this is her first day in America.
Oh.
And she got a job like at Bergdorf Goodman doing handiwork, like couture sewing.
Oh, okay.
Because that was her background, design and sewing. And the first day, she wanted to work hard. It was like all piecemeal.
Uh-huh.
And the women got mad at her because she's producing too much. So they went out on strike. That was my mother.
And what did your father do at that time when he came to America?
They
landed in Baltimore. Where did
they went to New York. That's where their friends were. And then he got into dental school in Kansas City.
No other members of family?
No,
were
the two of them.
Wow.
And then she went up to the Catskills working in bed and breakfast or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Resorts.
Right.
Cleaning. Yeah. And sending money to my father so he could study.
Study medicine.
Study dentistry. And then he had an option to go to Seattle to do his medical residency.
Wow, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And he went.
And he went. And then that's their third life.
And that's where they spent many years in Seattle.
54 years in Seattle.
Wow. And your mom has been gone, what?
6 years.
6 years.
6.5 years, and we lived together.
It's wonderful that you have each other
Mm-hmm.
at this point in time.
What?
It's good that you have me. It's very good.
So
You're a lucky
He
man.
practiced, he wants to give you a kiss.
I know. He invented the dental
He
implant.
has 8 children, and I am the only one who survived. It's
Tell him to keep talking.
Keep talking.
I want to get a close-up of him.
But you had 8 children. There were 8 children
8 children.
Wait a minute, 8 children.
in his family. There are 8 brothers and sisters in his family.
Yeah, but how? But he was the only one that survived?
Yeah.
It is amazing. So he had no one when he came here
No.
to the States.
Well, he had one, but he was 30, 40 years older in Miami, and they were out of touch for so long. Some of them were so old, they left early.
Yeah.
So he would have been, my father was 34 when he came here. The brother would have been 64,
How did his brother manage to,
way before.
wow, okay. Okay, so Nick practiced dentistry in Seattle.
Oral maxillofacial surgery. He
That's a
doesn't.
real specialty.
Yeah, he doesn't do dentists. I mean, he doesn't do fillings.
Oh,
He does reconstructive surgery of the lower jaw, and TMJ.
and what did I read? That he invented something.
Yeah, he was kind of he's considered the Moses of the dental implant.
Okay, Nick. Tell me what you invented.
The implant. Talk about the implant.
I just want to get a good picture of him coming close.
Implant.
Yeah, talk about it.
Talk about it too here, the camera.
Talk about it.
The
He's not
implant.
talking.
Yes, he is. Talk about it.
What the veteran.
This, where they had to have the atrophy of the lower jaw, where they had to have 2 surgeries, and you made a mesh, horseshoe mesh with the posts coming up. The implant. Talk about it.
I made an implant. The first was ever made, you know, and it could.
Is that still being used today?
Yeah, they're full-page ads.
Full page ads.
Don't you see them? Full-page ads in every newspaper, dental implants.
And that's what...
20,000
yeah.
apiece, yeah.
Well, you do read and hear a lot about implants, but I guess there are different kinds. Full implants, partial implants,
But he started the whole concept.
concept of implants.
Yes.
That's incredible. Well,
We call him Moses.
okay.
You read about him in history books.
Okay, I guess we're, and where are you folks living now?
In Scottsdale.
You're living in Scottsdale since when?
The 2 of us, April 1st, 2002.
Oh, you moved here at a good time.
March
guess.
1st, 2002.
Margaret has been here.
Okay, I think we're done.
Okay?
We're ready for the next step.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna shut this off.
All right.